We'll go ahead and press record. One. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to a happy edition of the Divine Brothers podcast. And I don't know about you guys, but when I found myself feeling low, I like to have a little song in my head, and it just goes happy, joy, happy, joy. Right now, I can feel that song radiating from Chase's head. Yes, as a certain sanity begins to descend upon him.
Do you
Yeah.
know who wrote that song?
The creators of Ren and Stimpy. Is
It's
that correct?
Stinky McWizzleteats. That's his
Oh,
name.
it's Weasel Teats.
Yeah. My
Oh wow.
favorite part about that is there the verses in the song get more um psychotic till he's just
Yeah.
completely detached and I'll teach your grandma to suck eggs. And then it goes from I told you I'd shoot, but you didn't believe me. Why didn't you believe me?
Uh, that was good, man.
Happy,
That
joy,
show.
joy, happy. Yeah, it was great. It was great writing. I mean, you can't write that shit.
I do not know how that ever got released on television, man.
It's
Like that
fantastic.
was I tell you what, that if we wonder about like the origin of certain problems, and we could go back to Ren and Stimpy.
No, I
Those
think
people
that
who
prevented the problems. Those prevented the problems.
dude, I don't know. Can you remember like Ren like standing over Stimpy while he's sleeping and looking at his hands and saying, "These hands,
Hold the fate of
these
millions.
hands hold the fate of millions." You know, like,
Yes.
it just it's a I don't know. I guess that there was an age where you couldn't really believe what was on television, but we watched it and we loved it. We genuinely did.
Yeah, I think it's essential. You got to have your outlet. So better to have it in a little disturbing cartoon than a shooter in a school. Yeah.
Where and what is the appropriate amount of disturbed for a kid? You know what I mean? Like, for example, I remember like do you remember that movie The Goonies? Remember that
Sure.
movie The
Sure. It's
Goonies?
old school.
That's 80s, but The Goonies was like that was like kind of like an in between being a little tiny kid and being like a teenager movie, like yeah, it's kids are on an adventure, but remember it was a little scary, like there's like some spooky things that happen. There's like the retarded monster guy, and all like so it's like a movie that transitions you to being an adult, you know what I'm saying, and that was important. It's nice to have like a little bit of disturb to graduate you to the next level. Yeah.
That's an interesting question. When is the appropriate time? I think it varies. I had this friend, you probably don't remember. His name was Drew growing up, and he had older brothers. He was the youngest kid. And I remember his parents got divorced, and I went out. I was hanging out with him and his dad one week. I was staying the night, and we went to a movie. Well, it must have been 8 or 9. And I was like, I thought we were going to see like the kid movie. I'm like, yeah, we're going to see it. We went to the adult rated R fucking thriller with the bomb. It was good. I remember seeing that. I was like, oh, this is good. And that was I remember that as a transition point, man. No more kid
Do
movies
you
after
remember what
that.
the movie was? Like what it was or something like that? Or
Some terrorist blowing up building. I can't remember.
not terrorist buildings
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah, that's important, man. I love that. I remember there were a couple moments that
We,
represented
what
ripping me out of childhood.
I just want to
Go
say
ahead.
his dad could have given two shits. We were like 8, 9, 10 years old. Yeah, three tickets to the
Going to
rated R
see
movie.
this.
Yeah, we're going to see the
Yeah.
rated R movie. Like, okay, it's
I have
fine.
a story about with Vic about the first like scary movie I ever saw in theaters.
Sure. What is it?
With Nick,
I
I'm
think you
shocked
might have
by
been there, Dean. I think you might have
me.
actually been there.
Okay, what
Yeah,
was it?
it was The Mummy with Brendan Fraser.
It's not rated R. That's a kid
That's
movie, isn't it?
That's way back, but it's a good example. Like that's an in between sort of movie
Yeah,
because
in between.
96, 97, something like that. So this is
You're close,
pre-divorce.
yeah.
Like, Yeah, was I there? Okay, well, shit.
Dude, I think you were there. Like another young person was there. I remember Vic was definitely there, and it was the Beatles that got to me. They like
Beatles go under their skin. Yeah,
yeah, it's been a while since I've seen the movie, but yeah, exactly. Like people were getting trapped in the underground, and it was the Beatles that would kill them. I found it horrifying, and it stayed with me. Like it's one of those things that you think
yeah.
about while you're going to sleep for weeks at a time.
So it was a good thing
See,
for you.
that's one of those things, man. Well, but isn't that important? Like every kid has one of those, like a real fear that he has to wrestle with. Mine was Chucky. I was horrified of Chucky, man. And Chase used to tell me Chucky would hide in the toilet, and when I'd be pooping, he'd put, stab me in the butthole and stuff, and he could come out of the drain and all that, and he was living under my bed. As a matter of fact, Chase, it wasn't Chucky, it was you who caused all the psychological damage, man. Because I was terrified that he was living out. He was in my closet, under my bed, in the sheets, in the toilet, in the bathroom, and I believed you. I remember there was a very important day in my life. It took me till I was like 10 when I realized that Chase doesn't always tell the truth.
Yeah, but that was all passed down, dude. I think it was some 80s monster flick, or it was the one where they're in Antarctica with the thing, you know? And I'm watching this as like a little 5, 6, and I'm like, oh my God, is this true? And Vic's like, yeah, it's a true story. It's all true. It's
And
all
thank
true.
you, Vic.
And
Thank
it's
you for
just
that.
just absolutely terrified, sleeping outside
Vic
parents'
reveled
door.
in it.
Yeah, yeah.
Austin,
I
what
would too,
this
though. If I
really?
had a kid, I would totally do the same.
Oh,
I would do the same thing.
ever.
Yes, I would.
Never. I would never do that. You know what? Because I'm fucking scarred by it. I remember being in Blockbuster Video right across from Grissom. There was like a video store there. And I'm sitting there in the kids section looking at Power Rangers or Ernest Goes to Camp or something like that. And suddenly there's a picture of Chucky's face in front of me with big scissors cutting off a Jack in the Box's head, with the big evil eyes, sort of eyes. And it was Vic. And I screamed bloody murder in the middle of the store, ran away to mom screaming, and he just pointed at me and laughed. Just and it was just a game to him. Meanwhile, I fucking like had to sleep in my parents' bed until I was 12 years old because I was so fucking horrified of like I was horrified of things like that.
But
And then I finally saw the movie and I saw it was pretty funny. So
well, then you got people that never get out of like Disney mode, I call it. Like that's literally the movies they see. Everything's just rainbow and sunshine, and they stay in it way too long. And they are clueless. And they
like
usually
that.
get fucked. They usually get fucked hard.
Do
Yeah.
they?
And
Really?
I
It's
got one more, like late night. It's maybe mid 90s. Powerful effect on me. The Blair Witch Project, because this is one of the first found footage films, and like it
I
was
think it's
going around.
deeper, right? Yeah. Like
You
that's
might
why
be right.
it's a true
Um,
yeah.
story. It really happened.
but among the youth, it was a genuine question, like if this was real or not. Nobody was really sure. If you were below like 13 years old, you really thought they found footage of people being trapped in the woods, not being able to get out, and being murdered one by a witch. Like you really thought that happened somewhere. Like it was that convincing.
That
Mm.
was really cool though, because that was the very beginning of the internet. Like the very beginning. So not everything you were hearing, like you weren't sure. And they could always say at the beginning of the movie, based on true events. And then you're just like, what? True events? This is history? What? What? And like it would freak you out. It's unfortunate that movie sucks so bad because I fucking hate that movie. You never get to
Well,
see anything.
Yeah.
Nothing ever shows up. You're just like, this fucking sucks.
It's ominous. It's good at building, but it builds to nothing. That's the
Builds
disappointment.
to nothing.
well,
Builds to
Yeah.
yes.
as a youth, I saw the trailer, and like I remember being in my bed that night, just unable to go to sleep, absolutely horrified. And it was all it took was a trailer. And I think maybe if I would have seen the movie, I would have thought like, okay, it's fake, whatever. But the trailer was so convincing, it really had me believing it. And I just felt like I had total insomnia because of
What?
it.
So would you, if you could go back, would you rather have not have gone through that, or wouldn't change a thing, or what's the?
I don't know. I don't know. I think also like I think if you recover, it builds resilience, and I think I recovered. It didn't like ruin my life, but it was like a week where I was like really afraid to go to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fear is a necessity, man. Yeah, they talk about that. Campbell talks about that. I just got finished re-listening to Campbell because why not? And talks about those manhood rituals. Like they got those cave paintings there in France and stuff. And the reason they built them is for the boy to man rituals, where they'd send like a 10-year-old boy into the dark of the cave, and they'd have to go in there and with a little flickering torch and commune with the spirits and stuff like that. It was a scary thing. Like there's something about evolution that requires you to face fear. And since we don't have any rituals where we do that, we just have to, use Chucky instead. It's got the same potency. It's basically the same.
It it's it's a huge hallmark that we're missing in society. You know what they do in I don't know, do they do this in China too, in Thailand, males and females. And I don't know how old it is, maybe 14, 16. You go live at the monastery for 2 weeks to a month. You go.
Oh, that's
And you
interesting.
Yeah, and you don't say shit, and you sweep and you pray and you meditate and you just live. That's what you do. And every single Thai that I knew did it, male and female. And they all it helped. It was a good thing. Like it centered me. It chilled me out. It gave me appreciation. Like it was, and you could see it reflected in the culture. It was cool.
Yeah.
Super cool.
I've been thinking about the leaf sweeping a lot lately. Me and
Mhm.
William been talking about it a whole lot, because in China there's this idea of like the monk sweeping leaves, and he's like he goes there for spiritual enlightenment, and he will spend his entire life sweeping leaves and die sleeping sweeping leaves, and like that idea is horrifying to me. Because if you're doing all this, you go to a monk, you study for 10 years at a monastery, and you're still sweeping leaves, you know? But of course, the whole idea of it is to eliminate the ambition entirely, to be truly content sweeping leaves. But I don't know, man. Sometimes I clean dishes and I have like a moment where I'm like, this is like sweeping leaves. And then 2 seconds later, I'm like, fuck this shit. Like my mind is not quite to the Thai level of accepting sweeping leaves.
It's a good practice. There's something about getting lost in an mundane task and it doesn't phase you. I couldn't do it for eternity, but to not let superficial shit like that get to you, it's a
Yeah.
gift. It's a fucking gift. Mowing the
I think
lawn,
we all have that ability. That's a great one.
you know? Yeah.
That's the closest I've ever seen Vic get to a kind of zen-like sweeping leaves state. Mowing the lawn in Oneana with that riding lawnmower, he fucking loved that, man. Like I could tell he got joy out of mowing that lawn, like Forrest Gump. Like it was a happiness I have not seen in Vic. It was a different kind of happiness, a satisfaction in his achievement.
I don't want to say the name, but like one of my bosses, like one of the top bosses, he doesn't come around very often. But I was in the elevator with him, and he told me that the only happiness that he had in his life was mowing his grass. And he was like, he regretted saying it to me afterwards. And he was like, he looked very uncomfortable. I was like, "What about your wife, dude?" But I get that. I get that.
What? Wait, why did he tell you? Austin, I'm telling you, man, you must radiate this aura that invites people to pour out their deepest secrets to you. Like, there must be something. He's a holy person in that restaurant. Why would he say that?
No,
Felt
I'm
comfortable.
actually there. I have a boss, a manager that's told me several times that he's tried to get me fired, that he would like to see me fired. And this is no, I don't even hate him, honestly. I think he's okay. I mean, like, it's kind of funny though, like, because part of my like maturation process is I used to think of people as like good or bad, but now I understand like nobody is totally one thing, and like under different conditions we might be friends, but like within this context and like the role he's taken upon himself, he's like, I think he's really off base. I think he's deluded, and I think he's kind of like not
Uh,
correct, but like he's
Austin,
not totally bad. That's why.
let's exercise some Buddhism here. I want you to step outside of your own personal perspective, and I want you to step into the perspective of this man. And I want you to tell me, from his perspective, what does he see in you that causes him to froth with hate? Huh?
That's a great that's a great question. He's sometimes I stand for like
You
for
stupid.
like 30. Sometimes I'll stand for like 30 seconds because they don't give me breaks, so I'll have to like take a break here and there. But I think
Yeah.
he's really building it. I think it's excessive. Like what I do because I don't get breaks. I think he sees me occasionally like not working, and that upsets him. And I think he feels that because of that, I've gotten over on him in some form or fashion, which was never like that's never how I thought about it. But but I genuinely think he's so off base. I don't know why he feels that way, but he's told me he's felt that way, which is weird because he's like, oh, I like you as a person, man. Like if like you're cool, but I don't want you. Like I don't. If I had my way, I would fire you. I was like, well, no one else feels that way. Like I thought, like I work like there's a manager I work right next to, and if I was messing up at all, like they would be the one. And this guy, like, we even work together. He's
What do you
there.
say to it? Do you say, why do you not like me? Or do you just say, oh, well, thanks for sharing that? Like, what do you fucking say? Do you just take it? It's like, what do you, I don't get that.
No, I don't really engage. Maybe I should, because I'm like, I would be slightly upset if I was engaging in that conversation. It would have to be out of a place of pure curiosity, because I'd probably get angry if I like
I
heard
know
the
what this is,
reasons.
man. But let's be honest. Austin is, if this was the cafeteria in middle school, right? Austin's eating alone. Yeah. He's the weird kid. He's not gonna be joining the other kids at the table to engage in the conversation.
And you know what the
You
boss
know?
is? The boss is the guy that comes up and sticks his finger right in the middle of his cheeseburger before he takes a bite and laughs at him and then walks off.
I think so. I think so.
No, that's actually very accurate. He's a guy like I think he probably was a bully, and I think he still kind of is, but he's probably
Uh,
like he's getting past it a little bit. But that's still who he is as a person. He might be trying to overcome it, but that's his natural instinct, I think.
man, I this reminds me of sometimes when I feel a little bit down, like I'll go and watch a few Seinfeld clips, like from back in the day, just a few good ones and stuff. And the other day, I just happened to come across David Puddy. You know who David Puddy is, Austin? Do you know who that is? He was Elaine's boyfriend for a bit,
Meathead.
and he was kind of yeah, he's the guy who plays Joe on Family Guy. But there's a great moment where him and Elaine are on a plane, right? And Elaine's reading a book, and he's just staring, like just staring at the seat in front of him. And she's like, "Do you want to read something?" He's like, "Nah." And you want to listen to something? Nah. You're just gonna stare at the chair? Yeah. You know? And it just goes silent for a few seconds. And then she goes, "I can't handle it anymore. We have to break up. This is the reason why." It's just like he didn't do anything, but there's something about that just makes people insane. Like I can imagine seeing like being a boss and seeing Austin kind of staring at nothing for a few seconds and just being like, "That motherfucker." Like it doesn't make sense, but there's something about it that just gets under your skin. You know what I'm saying? I
Can,
could see that.
do you think I forgot about that relationship Elaine had with Putty? Do you think that's a good summarization of the vast majority of relationships people have? Like
Yeah,
completely the wrong person, and they just stick around. And they just would
dude.
rather stare into nothingness together than to ever do anything about it. Yeah.
Do you know what the top comments in that video was? So this was a clip of all
Yeah.
the David Putty clips, which are great. The top comment was, "After watching all of this, I realized how uptight all of these people are." And I was just like, you know what? We laugh like at Jerry Seinfeld and Elaine and George and all that. But the truth is, they're all kind of assholes. You know what I mean? Like, fucking Putty's just a simple guy. And fucking Elaine's just like, "I can't handle your simpleness. You know, you paint your face." It's just like that. And I think you're right. I think people get so wound up in their head that they can't handle somebody just empty staring off and just feeling peaceful, like
Actually,
just
Dean, no, I think you're completely correct. And I kind of forget, but I actually came to the conclusion at one time that it was really just my face. That I tend not to show. So, look, like the restaurant, to be fair, is a successful restaurant, and it's probably one of the most successful restaurants in the city. And most people that work there, especially people in management, take themselves extremely seriously. The boss
Yeah.
takes yourself extremely seriously. It's no joking around, right? It's like it's all business, and the management's that way too. And so I have a look on my face that says, I'm not really invested the way that you are. And I understand, like, we're kind of all playing a game here. And like part of being serious is you can't admit that you're playing like everyone's taking on social roles and putting masks on. And like you can't break character. And I think I break character that says ultimately this isn't like, it's not that big of a deal, you know? Like people want you to look worried when things are going badly. People really want you to have a look on your face that says, I care that this place is burning to the ground. And really, I'm not incentivized to care. I get paid by the
Right.
hour. Like, what does it matter to me? I'm not going to burn it down. I'm going to do my job. I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus. I'm going to do actually a good job because I care about putting out a good product. But I'm not going to act like I care more than I do. And that's what they want
Yeah.
from me, I think.
Let me tell you, man, I know restaurant managers and my whole life, and there's just something about that job that naturally turns somebody into an asshole, you know, because you're dealing with like addicts, you're dealing with like low end people who come and go constantly and stuff like that, and you're just angry because somebody's always calling, I can't make it, I can't make it, you know, and there's always people, there's something going wrong at the restaurant, somebody's pissed off, and the people who get those jobs are usually middle aged, overweight, former addicts. You know, they probably have a degree in something much better, but they fucked up their life. So now they're working at a manager as a manager position at a restaurant. And because this is all they got, they take it way too fucking seriously. It becomes the life they were supposed to have, you know? And so I've seen those people, Austin, become little dictators, you know, and they just lord their power over people with a terror that I despised. I
Yeah.
empathize. I've been
No,
in that fucking position.
that's very impressive. That's like such an accurate guess. Like it's such a good cold read because we got a lot of former addicts, a lot of people with degrees and other things that really wish ultimately that they weren't there. And
Yep.
so you're spot on. So you definitely have been in the restaurant industry, and apparently it's not just there. There's one guy, and this is kind of a general question, but like, what do you think about somebody when you're passing them in a tight space? You always have to be the one to twist out of the like to move yourself out of the way to make yourself smaller.
Power move.
This pisses me off. This pisses me off because it's not. This is not a boss employee situation. This is a person to person situation that we're walking by. This is a universal human predicament. And there was a time where I thought he would like because it's a small kitchen that he was purposely walking into me. But what do you think about that, just in general? People that expect you to move out of the way every time.
Dude, restaurants, you're always running into people. Oh, like space is tight in every restaurant. So I was always of the opinion, like if we're going by people, especially if I'm carrying food or something, I always say behind. You know what I mean? Like I announce that I'm like I am moving, but also I'm in the working zone. Like restaurants were probably the hardest I've ever worked in my life. You know, and like when you get into the zone, like you're just fucking boom, 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 boom. You know, and I remember many, many, many of those moments, but always just announce like behind, in front. You know, like so we flow perfectly. But if there was ever somebody quiet, you know, like or weird or something like that. I don't know. I've never been in that situation. If I was the awkward guy in the kitchen, I don't know.
No, I think Austin is saying this feels super intentional, and it sounds like this guy
It
likes to
is.
push you around. Now, this is an advantage me and Dean have. We have not handsome faces. We have like, do
Mean
I want to? Yeah,
faces.
like I don't really want to piss them off for some reason. Nobody's ever
It's
wanted to, so
true.
they would get out of my way. You don't have a face like that, so
It's
I
true.
think somebody could display some energy on you. They could be
Wait.
attention.
To be clear, this isn't like a quick like we're passing each other and we barely see each other and he doesn't get out of the way. I'm like we're passing each other in a like a hallway type
Yeah,
situation where I don't need to
He
say
could give you
anything.
the shoulder. He could give you the shoulder and
He
shove you out of the
could
way.
because like how
Yeah.
many times do I have to like move sideways before, because he never does it.
You
He
got to
never
get to
does
the
it.
gym. I wonder if he had some 20, 30 pounds heavier, if he'd still
He's
get
a,
away.
Oh, it's the face. We've already talked about this. It's the face.
It
Yeah.
is true.
It's the
Yeah.
face. Yeah.
Yeah.
Austin, it's a power move for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
he's
I don't
depressed.
blame you.
Sorry, I don't actually know what his deal is, but like if this guy was arrested for like strangling his girlfriend to death, I'd be like, perfect sense. I totally get that, because he looks like he wants to kill the people that work for him or alongside of him. Like he seems very poorly like put together mentally. Sounds
So you
like he's
got you
always
got
on
no
the edge.
relationship with the guy, is what you're saying.
I've seen moments like everybody where he was like nice, but most of the time it's like it's just not someone I'd like to be around.
Is this the guy who gets the most joy out of life from mowing his lawn?
No, that's the guy that's even higher up than this guy.
Oh, okay. So Austin, your reputation there must be you're just the odd guy, the
Forgettable.
quiet.
Forgettable.
Is it forgettable? I don't know. You tell me, man. What is it? What is your role?
Like amongst everyone at my level, I'm well liked and mutually
Right.
respected. I don't
Right.
disrespect people. People don't disrespect me on that I work immediately with. And
Right.
even several managers I have very, very good interactions with. It's really just a few people.
So you always show up on time and you do your job, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I always show up on time.
That's the only fucking thing that matters in a restaurant business. Nothing else matters, especially in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Especially in the kitchen. You
Dude,
know?
they have a guy they love. He was 45 minutes late today. Nobody said a word. He's
What?
always at least
So
15 minutes late.
Well,
They love
that
this guy.
but he
reputation.
can do, yeah, he can get away with it. Yeah, because he's
You
loved.
do that shit. Finally, they got that excuse they've been waiting for.
I think it's called
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
synchronetic credits. There's like a psychological term for it. It's like, dude, you can fuck around. You can show up late if you reach a certain level in a relationship with your higher ups or the people around you. Like they'll tolerate it. Oh, he's so fucking funny. Doesn't matter. Let him show up 30 minutes late an hour.
No, this guy, to be fair, he never complains. Like what he will do when he gets mad, he'll start breaking plates, and that's like a known thing that he does. But he'll like work shifts completely by himself for like 8 hours straight and really not
Good.
make that big of a deal out of it. And that's what they
Man.
like. They were talking about how great he was, and I was like, he's great because he lets you exploit him. Because
Are
he's
you,
a
is there a little jealousy here? I can't tell.
no. The guy, I don't really know his mental. Like he seems slightly like not. I don't want to say I don't really know him super well, but he's not like. I don't know if he's totally there. I don't know if he's totally there, or if he's just
This is
super
a kitchen
quiet.
guy. A kitchen guy.
Yeah, it's a kitchen guy.
So kitchen people are very interesting because like I have found that chefs love chaos. Like they thrive in the insanity. Like when it's like a million orders coming in and there's like 50 things they're bouncing, there's pans everywhere. Like I find like that situation of being alone on an 8-hour shift where you just get lost in your work. Talk about sweeping leaves. That's like the American version of sweeping leaves, man. Like where you just get lost in the hardcore, super complex work that you're doing. Like those people thrive on that. Sometimes they really like that's the zone. That's where they fucking thrive, man.
Chase,
What do
where
you?
is it? Where is it that you thrive?
Oh, one-on-ones.
And the thing you
Really?
hate doing and bitch about every time. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
because I do it a lot. I thrive every single place I've ever worked, Austin, they really like me. And I learned a valuable lesson. The place Dean used to work, a little rehab. We fucking worked in hell together. I had a job where I worked with a doctor, and I never had to come out of this office for almost 2 years. It was fantastic. Could hide, could get all the gossip. But once you go out and you're in, in view of others and you have to interact with others, it all goes to shit. So the trick is you just make your interactions as little as possible. You have a small little relationship with everyone. You only talk to them one on one on occasion. That's it. And the rest of the time you disappear in your hole and always show up on time. Yeah.
That's very important. I have two. I've developed over many years of teaching. This is not restaurant. This is teaching. Two very clear, like, um, uh, maxims to live by.
Mm.
Number one, don't complain. That took me a long time to learn. I've only implemented that for the last year. Never complain, especially in China. That's just, it's not how it works here, especially publicly. Like if you publicly complain, there's an X on the back of you, right? Forever, you know? And the other thing is, I never talk shop. I only do little jokes. Learned that from my grandfather. Just little jokes, little like, hey, how's it going, man? What's that? So, like just pure little bullshit conversations with everybody, little light laughter, never talk business, never talk about the school, just little jokes. And it's made life so much easier. Everyone's cool with me. Nobody fucks with me. I'm just left alone on my island. And when I interact, it's all jokes and happy, you know?
Yeah, same thing. I never go serious
Mhm.
ever. Fucking ever make fun of them, crack jokes, keep it safe. If you make people laugh on occasion, and then you're sparse, you don't come around that often. You just like, oh, Chase is, oh, great. Last time I saw him, it
Yeah.
was fun. That's it. You make yourself sparse, but when you are around, it's just a couple little
Yep.
jokes. That's it. That's the trick.
That's it. That's it.
There's a movie from I think it was '90s, early 2000s with Tom Arnold and the guy from Honey I Shrunk the Kids called like Big Bully, I think it was. Did you ever see this?
No. Don't know.
Wow, it used to come on TV all the time. But so the guy from Honey I Shrunk the Kids is getting bullied by his coworker, right? It's like it's not his fault. But what do you do in a situation where someone is like being negative towards you? Because I think you have a couple of different options. Like you can just not engage at all, or you can get
That's you. What
into
you do.
an argument. I try not to engage because I don't want to interact from a place of anger, and I don't want to be, because I think a lot of arguments come down to perspective, and I don't want to be like, oh, this is my perspective against your perspective, and it usually doesn't go anywhere. If you're like having an argument out of anger, it very rarely goes anywhere. So
Somehow,
that's
Austin,
my tactic.
I feel like you're not a confrontation man. Is that
I
fair?
really, I really try not to be. Though confrontation means that communication is broken down. Like I can have confrontation. There's friendly conversation and like or constructive confrontation, but when I sense it's not constructive anymore, I don't engage with that. I try not
How
to.
about going up to him and say, "Hey, man, what's going on in the hallways? I've been working here years, and it's the same fucking thing every time. Like you're a middle school bully. Like, what's going on there? Are you capable of that?
I'm capable, but I would have to do it from a place of curiosity and not of anger. And I think
I think you would
that
do
would
it
be
from a
tough.
place of curiosity. You don't strike me as anger ever. That face would never show anger. Is that true? Yeah, I don't think so.
That's not true, Dean. That
Oh,
upsets me a little bit. Sometimes my eye will twitch a little bit, and I feel like, and I get a strong impulse to like throw a stack of dishes across the kitchen. I just go, not today, not today.
the
I
eye twitch. Damn.
I have been in not like yours, but I have been in situations where think I feel that people don't care for me. Like it's rare. Like you get one or two people in an office setting, like, I don't think this guy likes me. And I do the same thing. It's worked every single time. I make it a point to small talk them and I ask questions about them. Not a lot, but on
Right.
occasion. And they always end up loosening up and giving me enough info to be like, oh, okay. All right. Like we become cool. So I'm never direct with the confrontation either. But then I just lean on them, ask them questions. And then if people like you or they're not going to fuck with you, man. It's the bottom line. So he doesn't like you. You got to make him like you.
We I've had conversations with these
No,
people
you haven't.
occasionally. I have
What
really.
are
I,
you
I
talking
have. I've
about?
tried.
Fucking Kant and God knows who else. Who are you bringing up, Austin?
No, we
That's fine. I can't imagine
they.
Austin having a BS conversation.
Nah, yeah, no, he's not.
You know what
That's
inner fire meditation is?
yeah.
I don't talk
That's
about that stuff.
okay.
But there's people that read like sci-fi, and I've had conversations with people, and they do lighten up. To be fair, but I can't keep that going. I'm not going to ask about it every time. And really, I don't. I
So,
feel like I shouldn't have to.
so you're gonna quit?
That's on the horizon for sure, man. I really,
That's better than dealing with all this shit. Just quit. Yeah.
yeah, it's really, I don't want to, and it's not ideal. But dude, there's a lot of places to work. Like they sometimes give you the impression that it's like, oh, it's like special that you work at this place. It's like, no, I
Yeah.
could. There's a lot of places I could work, and probably 80% I'd be treated better, and I might get paid slightly less, but it would be worth it for for the emotional energy that I would remain, because I leave work just completely emotionally and mentally exhausted. So like
I
it's
the one thing that I've noticed with restaurants, this may not be true because I've worked in my life at one, two, three, four, five different restaurants, since like from 17 onward, just was always working at restaurants and stuff like that. The ones that I found to be the most welcoming and the most chill were where the owner was involved. Yeah. Like, I think the second the owner's like, I'm a lawyer and this is my side thing, and they've got a general manager and a manager and all that, that's when it gets crazy. But when it's way more local, like way more like, yeah, the owner's there, he's fucking in the back getting shit done, and he's running the show. It's more family oriented. I find those places to be a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more chill in terms of the environment.
Good point.
That's my
excellent
advice.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in conclusion, he's not going to say shit and probably quit. So yeah. No, we tried.
Quit. Definitely quit. I think that the hardest thing that most people don't have the ability. Here's what I've seen happen. I have a pretty good job. It's not perfect. There's a lot of things that are not great about it, but I have had many friends quit this job and they have been fucked. Like it's over for them. They're like, yeah, I'm living back with mom and dad, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, you're 45. And like, yeah, whatever. And it's just, there's situations where you realize like, oh yeah, I better settle. This is not a bad spot. But then there are those situations where every day they got your balls in a vice. And it's just the opposite, where you got to realize, I got to get out of this place. And so it seems to me that it's time. Yes. Let loose
Play
your
that
freedom.
song. Who sings that song?
That'd be
We
the animals.
gotta get, yeah. It's a great one, man. It's interesting, Austin, with my job working in the hospitals, because my job is supposed to involve honesty and being authentic. I have, I think I'm allowed that leeway. Like at the hospital, I remember my boss, she was like, "What do you think after 3 months you get your review?" I was like, "What do I think? I think this is a fucking hard job. Like these are some crazy people." She's like, "Yeah, you never come out of your office." I'm like, "I don't want to come out. It's
Mm,
safer." I was like, "I don't want to interact with people." And she's like, "Totally understand." Like it was, I could say whatever I wanted. I didn't have to bullshit at all. She's like, "Yeah, I get it." I was like, "This is great. It's fantastic." So,
yeah.
but I think I can do that with my job. I don't think most people can. Politics and all that shit with work is awful.
See, but the interesting thing about that, Chase, is that even though you're not really complaining, you're adapting. You know what I mean? You're not saying, "Oh, we should change this, we should change this." You're just saying, "Yeah, I see how it is, and I'm not going to interact with it." And I think boss like that. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like,
yeah.
like I have. That's what I was talking about. Not complaining and shine. Like I have learned how this fucking school works. I know. I have learned how it fucking works, and I accept it. I fucking accept it, and they appreciate that. Because you get like, young, like I'm a PhD from Oxford, and yes, my life didn't work out, so I'm working here, but I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna do this, and then like they fucking put a saddle on your back, man. And like, get the fuck out of here with these ideas, man. And it's hard for those people. But when you accept it, it's not so bad. You really get into the vibe of it all.
Don't rock the boat if the boat's kind of comfortable.
Mm.
Yeah, giving you good food and hanging out, and why rock the boat, man? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've seen it here, Dean, in my work. People come in, they got ideas about how things are supposed to go, and I just go, "Good luck." I remember one time this guy was like, he was doing something, and I was like, "Why are you doing that?" He's like, "If we save the business money, we'll get paid more." And I go, I laughed in his
What?
face. I laughed. And I was like, no, I shouldn't say anything. I was like, yeah, dude, okay.
Well, look, if you actually are intelligent, probably not washing dishes in a fucking restaurant. But I have talked to some people that have pitched ideas to companies on money saving tactics and gotten jobs. And I don't have that in me. I am not that fucking proactive and 3 or 4 steps ahead. But I've met a couple of people that can do that. So it's possible. But no, man, you save in a fucking restaurant a couple bucks, they don't give a fuck. It's stupid.
You know, I was looking at our family, Chase. Like, we come from a long line of ministers and barbers and lawyers and stuff. All these people always worked for themselves. You know, they didn't do the company thing. They didn't go to work at a factory. They didn't do I'm part of a team sort of thing. They're like, this is my church and I'm in charge. This is my barber shop.
And none of them
I'm in
did too
charge.
well either.
What are you talking about? There's a lot of very successful lawyers in the family. And are you kidding? The preacher, like Padre, had the biggest Lutheran church in all of Houston.
Shut the
you
fuck
know,
up. No, he didn't.
it's true. Oh, yeah, he did. He did. It was massive. It's still going on to this day, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
And there's this idea that I think people strive in independence, and there are people who strive in a team environment. And I'm guessing all three of us are not team players in the truest sense of the word.
Okay, if we're not team players, let me ask you this. Do you prefer a great team or working on your own? Because I remember this. Oh yeah, it was sophomore year in high school. We have a chance to win state. We're in the semifinals, and it's like comes down to this one play. And I remember in the huddle, the coach goes, "Hey, watch. He's gonna fake the handoff. He's gonna roll around, throw a pass. Like, don't fucking fuck up." And it's exactly what happened, and the guy fucked up. Like he did. I was just astounded. I was like, wow. I was like, we did everything we were supposed to do, and this one fucking idiot. He felt horrible about it, but I still to this day, I'm like, yeah, you fucked that up, dude. Like you were the weak link. Like you fucked everybody's life over. It was your fault.
Oh, Jace.
I
Jace, I'm starting to understand certain criticism people have laid against you. Yeah, yeah.
I saw it all the time. And I was like, man, it doesn't matter how prepared I am. There's always someone that's going to be fucking fucked up and take you down, dude. It's much easier for me to work on my own. It's much more comfortable. People have disappointed me, but I can understand if people have always helped, you could like the team aspect, make others stronger.
Yeah.
But me, it's been the opposite. People have always let me down. How could you do that to me? You let me down.
My entire life, I've worked in good teams, but I've never worked in a great
Great.
team
Never. Me either.
where I'm like, this is fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess without that experience, I don't think I could ever really support the team angle. I've even seen like people who are really close, like start businesses together and they are on the same fucking page and all that stuff, but even still, you feel the tension. You feel like how this is not flowing as it should. So,
I
yeah.
look, you can fuck up on teams, you can fuck up, but if it's like the moment, all right, everything's on the line. You got to make the free throw, you got to catch the ball, you got to close the deal, you got to make the pitch, and you fuck that up, that's unforgivable to me. I'm like, no, like we all knew it was coming. This was like this is what makes or break you in life, and you fucking failed, and I'll remind you of it. I'll be like, yeah, you let me down, you let everybody down, and I see why you're an alcoholic now. Yeah.
It is interesting how, like, I've seen this in teams before. I feel like there was a time when I was really into basketball, like college basketball. I was doing brackets and shit like that, and I was watching every game. This is years and years ago. And I could remember just so clearly feeling momentum. Like when a team gets hot,
Yeah.
the whole team gets hot. Like
Basketball's a great example. Yeah.
and you can feel the shift. You can feel the other team giving up hope, and you can feel the other team just getting even more into it. And that's the sort of thing I've never experienced. I've never felt that collective momentum. So yeah, I guess it's possible, but yeah, not for me.
What about you, Austin?
I like a good team, but if I were to make like have a choice, it'd be to work by myself. Like it's nice. Like they don't. have to be the greatest people in the world, but as long as there's like respect, there's not tension in the air when you're working around people, then I'm perfectly fine being around people. But almost inevitably that arises, and it's just easier to be away by yourself for sure. And like, I like playing video games solo. So I think, by temperament, I'm definitely a loner, but I don't like being around people.
Yeah. Your older brother, we played football together in middle school, and we were playing our big rivals. Me and him threw the ball every summer, all the time, all the time. He does the route, I throw it to him, he catches it. And this fucker in the biggest game at the biggest moment, wide open, like the best, one of the better throws I ever had, hit him right in the chest and he dropped it. It's just, and he's still to this day, he's like, you bring that up. I'm like, yeah, and I should. And I'm never gonna let you forget that one.
Well, Chase, to be
Inexcusable,
fair,
man. That was the moment. Catch the ball. God, we could have been millionaires, but he dropped that ball. And this is how it
no,
turned
dude.
out.
Look, a mistake happened. We have to acknowledge that. But like, there's some character defect that you still think about this 20 years, 30 years later, man.
Well, he reminds me of it, so I have to remind him again. Like, yeah, you're right. That was an important event. You let me
Do you
down.
really
This
care?
was this for like hold on. Was this for like the middle school championship or something like that?
It was your
Like
arch rival. They were
right?
supposed to kill us. Yeah, they were supposed to beat us, and that would have won the game. Yeah,
Uh, was it a good pass?
perfect.
Really? Like spiral, right
He
at the
will tell
chest?
you it was perfect too. He beat his man. He was nobody was around, and it's just right in the chest, right off the
Can I
chest.
tell you, dude? Let me tell you something. So I have zero coordination. I'm the exact opposite of Chase, like zero athletic ability and stuff like that. And I can remember like catching the ball was tough. You know what I mean? Like I fucking sucked at it. But one thing I remember about Chase could always catch the ball. Vic used to throw that ball hard, really fucking hard, and every time Chase caught the ball, you know what I mean? And my question is, Chase, what is the secret to catching the ball? Well, like, what's the thing you need to catch? Like, I know that it's been a long time since you played football, but
It's a
if you
great
were teaching a
question.
kid, you know what I mean? What's the thing? What's the thing you gotta have? You know?
That's interesting. Growing up, I never met anybody that had better hands than me. I met some that had excellent hands, but I can tell you what it was. It was just repetition. Now, our father
Mm.
would throw the ball with me, and that means I was running routes, he was standing still. That was the agreement. And that was daily, every day, all day. It got to the point where I was like, if I touch it, I'll catch it. Like that's how
Yeah.
confident I got. Like, I can flick it up with one finger and make sure I grab it. It was almost like there was no doubts. And I think that's where my tolerance hits with people. There's people that are uncoordinated, and then there's people that are coordinated. And I'm like, look, dude, you can catch anything I throw at you. I'm just going to keep throwing it at you. And your brother was one. He's a coordinated guy. He can catch, throw a fucking ball. And there was no excuse dropping that pass.
So you're saying that
Man.
it's the issue is confidence.
Yeah, it's a natural
Confidence.
instinct. And if you have it, repetition leads to confidence. And then it's preparation. Preparation.
So if you drop the ball, that's basically saying that this is not a confident person. This is somebody who lacks internal confidence. Is that what you're insinuating?
They weren't prepared.
Mm, 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 mm,
Yeah, I
Interesting.
think that's partly on Marty. I never remember them being out there throwing the ball around. Seems like
This is
Vic.
just theoretical. It didn't have to do with anybody in particular, Austin. It was all theoretical.
Uh,
What I was talking about.
okay, in this theoretical situation, the person we're talking about didn't have the support outside the school like Chase did, that he takes for granted, and you know,
True,
he's
Chase.
It's
judging people
interesting
unfairly.
because I talked to your brother not too long ago, and he talked about he's talking about being competitive. I was like, dude, you were never competitive in growing up. And he goes, when I went into the Marines and I went to boot camp, I realized that none of these guys ever played sports hardly. Like I was like one of the best athletes there. That's when I started getting competitive. When he had confidence, when he saw that, oh, I could probably take anyone here. Oh, I'm faster than these people. Then you start to throw your effort into it. So yeah, confidence is a huge proponent of it. It's massive.
Yeah, He definitely really got a big head once he got back from the military. Kind of, it's an awkward way to
Poor
say
Chris. Oh,
it. I know, dude. He'll admit it, man. He was a tough cookie. He really was
tough
kind of a
cookie.
dick, actually,
Good.
at times.
I,
But I gotta
I
say,
like that.
where does
Chris is
that
a
come from?
good
Tough cookie, man. I
tough.
mean, is that such a thing? You don't
He's
want a
like he's
tough
got a little.
cookie. You what is?
Yeah, he's got a little sweetness, but you gotta dig in there.
Well,
he
it's
was
like
a
it's a well done steak. That's what it is. It's like you really got to put your effort. Like your jaw hurts afterwards after you
Yeah,
cut
he's
it
gotta
up.
chew. You
Yeah.
gotta really chew. Yeah, yeah.
I might even say that he was a bad hombre if put in a corner. But
Yeah.
yeah, maybe he had too much confidence after that. But I totally
Hey,
believe the
Austin,
story he gave Chase. So.
does he still have that mustache?
He does, yeah.
Let me tell you, man, I hate that mustache. I'm sorry, I just do. I think he's a handsome man. I think he is, but that mustache makes him look like he's trying to be something, And I don't like it. I don't like anything. I think that a mustache, you got to be Don Fry. That's the only time it's ever acceptable. If you're a fucking yoked giant former MMA fighter, like okay, firefighter, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He does not don't have the mustache, Chris. I'm begging you, man. Like I'm telling you, you're a handsome dude. You don't need it, you know? So my opinion shared there. Sorry. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
I think it fits the job. I think if a firefighter showed up and had a mustache, you don't question it.
It's a
And
not
so,
the
Dean,
job,
that's your
not the
perspective. I think it's a
what's your
fine.
opinion?
I think it's fine. I'm neutral on the mustache. I think if it increases his confidence, if it makes him feel like the person he
Okay.
wants to be, then
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah. I think that's what, if that helps him like, feel like he's a little bit more tough, a little bit more. Yeah, okay, you know what? Yeah. If
What?
it's like a blanket that you hold on to, to give you a little
Ooh,
comfort.
no, no. Let's be honest. If you have a mustache, but for like a fireman with a mustache, are you the goofy, funny guy? No, man. You're like grounded, kind of serious, kind of tough.
Mm,
Like mustache comes with personality type, comes with personality traits. But you're never
mm.
the goofy, funny guy. You're never the laid back, chill guy. There is a seriousness that comes with the mustache. And I think a lot of guys that wear the mustache, YouTube was feeding me an algorithm of body build, no, not ability, uh, strongman lifter with a mustache. And he was radiating, just trying to be confident. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I see why you have that mustache. Yeah. It's a vibe, man. Yeah, I think
It's
it's
a
time
cope
for the
stash. Cope
cope
stash.
stash.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though, if you wear it looking for those confident point, it drops your good looks maybe by 2 digits. Nobody looks good with a mustache. Nobody's truly sexy with a mustache. You
It's
could
not
get
about looking good. It's
no,
about making a statement about your
but you
attitude.
understand you're not going to look near as good as you would without it.
See, man, I just feel like, yeah, I just don't think it. Austin, how do you feel about mustaches in terms of sexual attractiveness, right? Do you like a dude with a mustache?
That is really far from my cup of tea. My
Mm.
first interaction with a mustachioed man was a man by the name of Mr. Potter, and he was a music teacher at Whitesburg Middle School. And this dude was he was psychotic. Like he was widely understood to be like at the end of his rope, and you heard stories about people playing things incorrectly and him like throwing chairs across the room. So that was my first mustache imprint. The archetypal mustache was
Oh,
like
I thought you were
unhinged
saying like
people.
your first. I thought you were saying your first gay mustache experience was your middle school teacher,
No,
music
if
teacher, molesting poor Austin at Whitesburg. Oh God.
no, I'd be talking to a guy like Chase on a daily basis, try to work through that
That's right.
that trauma.
That's right.
But when there's different ways to wear a mustache. He was a serious mustache wearer. If you
Yeah.
question the mustache, he'd be upset. I think if you question the mustache, he'd laugh with you because I think it's partly ironic. I don't think he is invested in the mustache on an emotional level like Mr. Potter
Uh,
was.
he's doing a Reddit bit. I see. Okay.
It's
Yeah.
his heart is not fully in the mustache. It's not who he
Okay.
is.
What do you
Mr.
what
Potter
no, dude.
was.
If you wear a mustache for years, it becomes a part of who you are. I'm sorry. It's just how it is, man. Your brother has a trend of you know, years and years and years of stuff like that. How long has he rocked it for? Honestly, how many years?
A long time, right?
Yeah. But he knows it's
Close to a
silly.
decade.
But Mr. Potter, he would never admit the mustache has a silly element to it. And I think that's the credit I give Chris. I think he knows it's a little bit silly to have a mustache. It's a little
Not
bit
for
out of time, out of date.
not for 6 or 7 years. That's not a silly thing anymore. That's an identity.
And to his credit, I've seen him with a beard, and I thought the beard was all right. I thought it was a cool look and everything like that. So I think that there's clearly some kind of method to this madness. Yes, he's clearly, maybe it is some hipster bullshit that he hasn't got out of his system because he's still living in the noughties while everybody else has let that hipster shit die. But I can understand the logic if that's what it is. Personally, I would never grow a mustache. Number one, I can't. Yeah. But number two, I just don't think I want to be that guy. I'm not Don Fry. I'm not a fireman, you know? So,
I had a musician not a musician, what's the one that does magic tricks?
magician?
A magician. A magician.
A
A
magician.
magician.
Yeah, not a musician, a magician. He had the mustache that looked
Oh, the
like
curly one.
one of those
Yeah.
guys.
Handlebar. Handlebar.
It
Yeah.
was him. It was you knew this guy, all his crazy shit, all his performance was great, but he was a little that was him. That was truly who he was, his essence. It was
Magician
perfect.
is a perfect job
It's perfect.
for a
It
mustache.
was
It's a perfect
perfect.
job.
I told him
Yes.
that too. I
Yes.
was like, "Your look, man." It's like, "Oh, thank you so, man." And he had a little soul patch. Right? Like, this is nice. It was good. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly how that's mixing like the old school magician with the Chris Angel magician. Like he knew exactly what he was doing
But
there.
it was who he was, and Austin's sitting here saying, "Oh, it's a good thing
Well, hold
that
on. This begs an important question since we're already balls deep in this. Austin, who is your older brother? Can you tell us? Like, can you define him? I'd be curious for the intimacy of your insight here. Who
Oh
is he?
man.
What is his role?
Well, man, I think he listens to this sometimes, but so I'm very worried. He's gonna be. I think he's got a sense of humor. I don't think he's gonna be upset.
it's gonna."
But Chris is a mixed bag. Chris, he's gone through different phases in his life. He's been a very difficult person to be around if he perceived that you were not up to his standards. That's Chris in his like early 20s, mid 20s. But Chris today is a mixed bag. He he certainly is maybe anal retentive. He wants things done a certain way. I remember one time we were making baked potatoes at his house, and I stabbed one of the potatoes to check if it was done, and he made a very snarky comment, and that was the point against him.
What
I'm
did he
not going to
say?
forget.
What did that potato do to you? What did he say?
There's an
You
incident,
know,
man. Memory. Potato incident, man. What happened? What was the snarky comment?
something about I should have known better. It was a negative comment. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't a fun comment. There was an opportunity for a fun comment there, but I will say this also. When I was kicked out of my father's house after coming back from Canada, he let me stay there rent free for a number of months. So that's a couple of points for him. But ultimately, he's a pretty good dude most of the time. I mean, I don't know how detailed you want me to get, but I think he's mostly good. If you were to ask me, I'd say he's mostly good. He's got a little bit of bad and just a pinch of evil. Just a pinch, like most people. He's got a pinch. He's got a
So
little bit in there.
his role is to be the good guy. Is that right? He's the good guy. He's a good guy. That's his role in life. He's the good guy.
He's often the good guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he's been the good guy in every situation, but I don't think anybody is. I think he feels much more deeply than he betrays, and I think that's part of the Elrod family in general. We never talk about our emotions. I'm probably the one that talks about it the most, and I hold back a lot. But Chris and Garrett, man, good luck getting how they feel about anything out of those guys.
Good guy, Chase. He's doing his best to try to be good. I think that's an important role. We need that kind of role in society. you know?
Sure. Why not?
I think Chase would largely agree. I think Chase, he holds things, he holds grudges. And this is a
Sure.
real negative aspect of Chase, and I think he might admit that. But I think he grew up with Chris. I think he would have to like him mostly like him, be
I do. I
mostly
like him.
positive.
I would have liked him more if he would have caught that pass. Yeah.
Chase.
And I think you would be a more
You ever heard of
likable
rubbing
person.
salt in a wound, Chase? Just get this.
There's a Ren and Stimpy episode. You see that one where he rubs salt in the wound? Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah. It's a good one. It's who's the king of stupidity. Stimpy wins.
That's a perfect encapsulation of what people would say about Chase if they asked, "What's wrong with Chase?" Like
King of stupidity. Yes,
his best friend dropped a football 25 years ago, and he never let him forget about it.
Actually, to be fair, Chase did forget about it. It just got brought up, and then he went all in. He went all.
I forgot about that. Thanks for reminding me. As a matter of fact.
Well, for the record, I love Chris too. He's always been very kind to me, so I'm glad. I've never been in a situation where I threw him a ball though, so who knows what would happen.
Your opinion might change.
It could change everything.
Drastically.
Chase, if you saw Chris, would you say to him like, "Let's throw the ball"?
No.
Would you? No, let's see what happens. Let's go out to the yard. All right, fair enough. That went away, Chase. I cannot believe you brought that up because I thought that would never be brought up in a podcast situation, but he felt like it. You felt like it today. You just wanted to acknowledge it, huh?
Footballs? Yeah. What do you mean? I don't understand.
You know exactly what I mean, Chase. You know exactly what I mean. Okay. I guess sometimes Chase needs to release his thoughts. Yeah. I know what you mean though. Like out in the public ether, let it be felt across the ocean of the internet.
I'm not surprised. Given the energy Chase came in with, I'm not surprised.
Came in with that. His energy was very like today. Yeah. I
felt that way too, though.
Yeah. I think but you know what, Austin? Today you brought it, man. There was a lot of Austin talk today, and I appreciate that. It felt like a good 3-way balance,
This might be the first episode. It might be 33 each. Could be.
It was really good. Really good. I'm very proud of you, Austin. And Chase, I'm very confident in your ability to share. Yes.
Thank you.
Should we call it there, gentlemen?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for listening to the Divine Brothers podcast. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.